Card. All right, so we're almost at the end. So today we're going to wrap up regional integration. Uh, then next this week, I believe Tuesday and Wednesday there's activity for you to do, and then on Thursday we're going to start intellectual tradition. I never know that school they finish school at 12 o'clock on Wednesday because of the teachers' day thing. So that kind of put us one class behind, but we're going to finish in time. All right. Somebody, could you read this for me? I need a volunteer. What is regional integration? Let us hear what Cynthia Barjas has to say.
Sure, I'll read.
Go ahead for me.
So it says, it refers to the process of voluntary decisions taken by independent nations to obtain greater levels of cooperation and reciprocity. It is first and foremost a political act. That's why Cynthia Barrow got
Giles, very good. No, Cynthia Barjas, she taught me at UWI. And if you go to UWI next year and do things like politics or international relations, her books or articles you use a lot. No, this is from a quote from her book where she said that regional integration is really a political act. It is several independent countries coming together to form a political union. So you can have a political union or an economic union or both, right? So for our regional integration that is taking place in the Caribbean is really a functional union, a political union, an economic union. Really not so much, we're not that integrated politically, but we are really trying to integrate on the economic and the functional level. So what Cynthia Barjas is saying here is that independent nation making that decision to come together. Now, what is the goal of regional integration? Somebody please read for me. Volunteer, come students, we have to finish this topic.
Barrow states regional integration has been designed to provide a framework for harmonization among member states that shares a geographical identity on a variety of issues.
Very good. So there are several different issues that we are facing as independent Caribbean state. I just want to mention is that regional integration is not unique to the Caribbean. So that is something I need to say. You have the European Union in Europe, they have their regional integration. You have the African Union, they have their regional integration. You have the North America, I can't remember the name of it. So there's a union between Canada and the US. You have the Asian Union with all the countries in the Pacific, that side. You have the South American Union, you have the Central American Union. So everywhere in the world have some union taking place. So when a lot of people, especially a lot of people, I don't want to use the term, but a lot of dunce people out there talking about Jamaica need to leave CARICOM and all of these different stuff. Our CARICOM is not working. No regional integration movement is perfect. You will never find a perfect union. You will have challenges and you will have benefits. There's not a perfect union. And if everywhere else in the world are integrating, it is imperative on the Caribbean, small, insignificant in world affairs, a lot of poverty. It is imperative on us as especially small island developing states with a long legacy of negative effects of slavery to integrate. Just in the same way Africa is integrating, European Union is integrating, that they even have their own currency, the European, the EU dollar. They integrate, and all of them, France, Spain, all of them use the same currency except Britain. It is imperative for us in the Caribbean to integrate. None of us is better than others. Bajans not better than us. Trinidadians not better than us. We are not better than them. Because all of us come from this very same history, and we have the very same geographical problems. We are linked by the Caribbean Sea, or we are linked by a common history. And so integration is very, very important. Now, Barjaz continue to say what motivates integration. So historically, regional integration was motivated by several different forces, either political, economic. So you're politically weak, you need to integrate. The economically problem, you need to integrate. Culturally, we have similar cultural problem, we integrate. Technical issues, we have security issues, social issues, we need to integrate. So integration is very, very important. Now, why should we have regional integration, especially in the Caribbean? One is that we have a common culture, whether or not we want to acknowledge it. We do have a common culture. We might call different things different names, but we do things very much the same right across from Guyana and Suriname in the south to the Bahamas in the north, Barbados in the east, Jamaica in the center, Cuba. If you visit all of these islands, we do things very much the same. And so we do have a common culture, and that's one of the reasons we need to integrate. Another reason we need to integrate is because we have a lot of economic problems. Right across the Caribbean, we have the same economic problems, some to greater degree than others, but we do have the same problems. Economic problem, we do have some of the very same social problems. And as very small island people, Jamaica might think that we are big, but I remember once I was at a conference and I was there, and in fact, we were in the ABC, on one of the ABC islands. And I said to so it's a group of us, a friend of mine from Haiti living in the US, a friend of mine from Dominican Republic living in the US, Haiti and Dominican Republic, and a Cuban. I'm the only Jamaican there. So there are four of us there having a conversation. And I was there, and they asked me how big Barbados is. And I tell them that Barbados is not as big as Jamaica. So they asked me how long it takes to get from one end of Jamaica to the next. I said, if you are traveling from Kingston to Montego Bay on the toll road, it could take you maybe 3 hours. But they said 3 hours from Kingston to Montego Bay, that's not big. Yes. The Cuban, the Haitian, the Dominican, friend from Dominican Republic, he said, no, that's a very, very small island. It takes us 2, 3, 4 days to move from one end of Cuba to the next. Same thing with Haiti and the Dominican Republic. We are big. You're not big. But because Jamaica is the largest English-speaking Caribbean country, we feel that we're big. And same thing with Trinidad. They are large too. But we need to remember that Guyana, the land mass of Guyana, can fit almost everybody. So if we're going to look at size, geographic size, Guyana is larger than Jamaica. But if we're going to look at population, Jamaica is the largest out of all the English-speaking Caribbean territories. And so as a result of that, we are small islands or small states because Guyana and Belize, they are part of us, and Suriname. So they are mainland territories and they are part of us. And therefore, we are small developing states, and we have seen the impact of globalization, because we have done globalization. We have seen where trade liberalization has have negative effect on the Caribbean. We see that we are a vulnerable economic space. Look at COVID. COVID showed the Caribbean that the Caribbean is weak and insignificant. We not even can get vaccine. We have to be begging, writing. The other day, the Antiguan Prime Minister write to President Biden begging to look at the Caribbean. They don't care. The Caribbean is insignificant to these larger powers. Same thing with Europe, England. They colonized us for years. They don't really care about us. The larger countries, the Prime Minister in Jamaica spoke about all the countries in the developed countries taking all the vaccine for themselves, the COVID-19 vaccine, and leaving none for the smaller territories. We are nobody, and the only way we can have a voice is if we integrate and if we speak as one. So the Antiguan Prime Minister wrote to Biden. Biden didn't respond to him. But the Trinidadian Prime Minister wrote to Biden and have all the different other Caribbean Prime Ministers sign on that letter, and then Biden respond to us. In fact, I remember one person back in, who is in foreign affairs, said at one time they went to the US, Jamaica went to the US to talk to the US about a particular issue. And the US, somebody from the US said, what is your population size? 2-3 million. But one of our cities in the United States have over 23 million. Why should we prioritize 2 million people for 23 million? Why should we prioritize them? Prioritize your country, Jamaica. So the next time we meet, guess what? Bring all the other Caribbean countries together. You can't leave out the Spanish, you can't leave out the French. You have to bring everybody together to have some form of importance. So it is important for us to lobby together as a region. They're not going to listen to us if we don't combine together. All right? So we have had several attempts of integration in the Caribbean. So one, we had the Windward Island Federation between Grenada, St. Vincent, St. Lucia, and Tobago. Then we had the Leeward Island Federation. And then after that, we have the West Indies Federation between 1958 and 1962. This was a political union. This was during the time when we were all colonies of Britain. And so what Britain wanted to do was she wanted to give the Caribbean independence as one nation and not a separate nation. But Jamaica said, no, we don't want to go independence with the rest of the Caribbean. That was an unfortunate act, because we would have been way powerful together if all of us, if we were one territory, would have been like the United States of the Caribbean. We would have Jamaica, Trinidad, Barbados, Antigua. All of this geographic space would have been ours. The sea, just imagine if all of us control, if the entire Caribbean was actually a united space, the entire sea, Caribbean Sea, would have been ours. And yeah, anybody couldn't just come through our sea just like that. We would have been stronger. Look at the United States. They had problems in their early federal days, but they overcame the problems. But Jamaica at the time said, no, we're not going to want to integrate. And that was led by the Bustamante. He opposed integration, the Jamaica Labour Party at the time. And the PNP and the Norman Manley said yes for integration. So Jamaica voted, and in 1961, I said we need to leave the federation. And so Britain said, I just can't bother with it. The island politics. Trinidad, Prime Minister went to a meeting. Is it Trinidad? I think it's the Barbadian Prime Minister, the Barbados. Barbadian Prime Minister went to New York and he said, Grantley Adams, he said, Jamaicans are illiterate. All Trinidadians know to do is to dance to calypso. That caused problems. Then Bustamante said during this period that, listen, all those little islands just want to suck Jamaica dry. He said Jamaica can walk, Trinidad is attempting to walk. Barbados is creeping. All the others not even have foot. That's what the leadership of Jamaica said during this period. So Jamaica causing problem, Barbados causing problem, Trinidad causing problem, and those three Caribbean countries have always been the ones causing a lot of problems for regional integration. Because everybody feel like they are big and they should control the regional movement. So we have problems when it comes to integration. You see, like countries like Antigua, Dominica, Grenada, because they know that they are small and people really don't recognize them, they integrate. That's why they have the OECS, the Organization of Eastern Caribbean States. They have one Supreme Court. They can move from island to island without a passport, just show an ID once you are citizens of these territories. They have one central bank, they have their own currency. Yes, because they know the other countries like Jamaica, Trinidad, and Barbados feel like they are better than everybody else, and they're fighting for supremacy in the Caribbean, where the supremacy doesn't exist. And so these were some of the issues under federation. Now, there were some accomplishments under federation. We had a civil service, we had the West Indies Shipping Service, a university college came out of federation, but there was a lot of challenges. We start to fight over where the capital city should be, the federal capital. Jamaica wanted to be in Jamaica, Trinidad wanted to be in Port of Spain, problem. And so people weren't willing to work with each other. Then Jamaica left the federation, but Jamaica and Trinidad got independence in 1962. Then after that, 1966. We are now independent, and then everybody else is coming after. Because Britain say you need to go, you're too expensive. We can't fix the problems that we left here, so you need to go. And therefore, what is taking place here is that you have a lot of independent nations, new independent nations, baby nations emerging. And once we gain our independence, we're going to realize that we have a more problem to solve. So what we're going to do, the first thing we're going to do is that we're going to establish as independent nation, we're going to establish the Caribbean Free Trade Association. So this is also called the Dickinson Bay Agreement, which established CARIFTA. Now, the founding members were Antigua and Barbuda, Barbados, Guyana, and Trinidad, 1965, right? That was when they signed the agreement, and by 1968, CARIFTA was established. What was the purpose of it? It was for increased trade between all these territories. They need to diversify trade, liberalize trade, ensure that there's fair competition in the region, protect the region from the major powers infiltrating the region with their goods. So CARIFTA came about, right? And CARIFTA was really important because as a result of this agreement, where they tried to remove certain trade barriers, what you had was that interregional trade between Caribbean countries improved significantly. There were more goods. If Barbados didn't have enough yam, Antigua send the yam over there. If Guyana don't have enough banana, Jamaica send the banana there. Rice, you know, Jamaicans love to eat rice. Guyana send the rice here. And so that was the purpose of CARIFTA. Now, CARIFTA was good, but it was limited, right? And so after that, in 1973, Barbados, Guyana, Jamaica, and Trinidad said, let us improve CARIFTA and let us form a new place, a new regional movement. And so this new regional movement was called CARICOM, the Caribbean Community and Common Market. And so in 1974, other countries in the Caribbean going to join CARICOM. And in 1981, the smaller territories, they are going to form the Organization of Eastern Caribbean States. Bahamas was one of the last countries to get their independence, and they joined CARICOM, but not a member of the Common Market. Very important to note that. 1995, Suriname joined CARICOM. 2002, Haiti joined CARICOM. These countries are still fighting against Haiti. Barbados, Guyana, Jamaica, Trinidad, Antigua, everybody's still fighting against Haiti. And so this is how CARICOM is. These are the countries of CARICOM. And these are the Association of Caribbean States. We're going to look at this at another. This is another regional movement. And then this is the Eastern Caribbean State. So if you look at this, one country can be a part of several different integration movements or bodies. So Jamaica, as you can see from here, they are part of two. Antigua, they are part of three regional movements. They are part of OECS, CARICOM, Association of Caribbean States. Now, what are some of the objectives of CARICOM? Always remember the objectives. You have economic integration, that is one. We need to integrate our market. So right now, you have the Jamaica market, the Barbados market, the Antiguan market. As a result of CARICOM, what we need is a common market. Because if in Jamaica, in the Jamaican market, you don't need to pay tax or you don't have any restriction of goods or people traveling from Kingston to St. Elizabeth or Kingston to Montego Bay, and you use the same currency. And the price of goods are generally the same. You pay the same amount of taxes. It is the same idea behind CARICOM. Think about Jamaica and think about Kingston and Montego Bay, where goods and everything is the same. And goods might be a little expensive more in the north, but It is one rule, economic rule that govern the Jamaica market. So when we talk about CARICOM and a common market, the aim of CARICOM is to have a common market where you have this equal price for goods, the same rules governing trade, currency, all of these different stuff. Travel. So if we say we want a common market, you're supposed to move from Jamaica to Barbados without any problem, like how you're moving from Kingston to Montego Bay without any problem. And so one of the objectives is to integrate the Caribbean through a common market. Another area of CARICOM is functional cooperation. So these are, we integrate through health. We have a body that the agency that deals with health, education, CXC, UE, transportation. We still don't reach there yet, transportation. And then another objective of CARICOM is to coordinate foreign policies. We are still supposed to reach here. Because right now the Caribbean is so divided. Donald Trump come and divide the Caribbean over the issue of Venezuela. And our Prime Minister here, I don't think people say that he's the, I don't know what they want to say, but I think the Prime Minister and the government lacks foreign policy. They don't have a clear foreign policy because Trump invited St. Lucia, Haiti, and Jamaica to a meeting and don't invite Barbados and Trinidad divide because Trinidad and Barbados and St. Vincent and Grenada said, listen, Venezuela should allow to deal with their problems. Jamaica said that US should go and intervene in Venezuela's problem. Look how much problems going on in Jamaica right now. The US is intervening. Barbados is intervening in Jamaica's problem. No. So we don't have clear foreign policy. And then in some Eastern Caribbean states, some countries aligned to Taiwan, some countries aligned to China. Not clear foreign policy coordination. Now let us look at some accomplishments of CARICOM. We have health, the meteorology, education, sports, culture through CARIFTA. We have the CARIFTA Games that still continues. We have a media entity. Foreign policy coordination, we have done good work on some foreign policy coordination at the UN, but we still have problems, a lot of different problems when it comes to that, especially now during the COVID problem, where Jamaica feel like they want to get a lot of the little money and loans from the US. So they do it at the expense of backbiting the other Caribbean countries. Yes, not very good, but that's the reality, what is on the ground. Some other accomplishments of CARICOM, agriculture. So we have the Caribbean Agricultural Research and Development Institute that helps with agriculture. We have West Indies Cricket Board, health. We have CARPA, which we hear the leader of the health minister always talking about that. Right now in the Caribbean, we have a major lab in Trinidad where we send, not all of us can afford some of the testing equipment. So what we do is that we send all our different things to Trinidad to test all over the Caribbean. That is run by CARICOM. And we have the Caribbean Epidemiology Center, so that deals with things like HIV and AIDS, this and all of these different stuff. A lot of different stuff. In terms of emergency, we have the Caribbean Disaster Emergency Response Agency and a lot more things. Those are some of the accomplishments of CARICOM. Now in 1984, CARICOM decide that they are going to, in Grenada, which is called the Granance Declaration, they said that, listen, we need to move away from a common market to a single market. So meaning, common market, you have several different market exits, but there's commonality in the market. But a single market, meaning we have one economic space. How are we going to do that? One, we need to have a free movement of Caribbean nationals. So you can move from one country to the next freely. We still have problem with that because as a Jamaican nationals, you go certain Caribbean countries. Once them see a Jamaican passport, them are going to have problem. Same thing with some Caribbean nationals coming here, they're going to have problem. It is not good. I don't know why we hate each other and love each other. There's a strong love-hate relationship in the Caribbean. Oh my goodness, the Guyanese have a lot of problems in Barbados, getting into Barbados. Same thing with going to Antigua. Don't know why they don't like Guyanese. Not sure if because they are, I consider Guyana to be the brain box of the Caribbean, right? And so you have free movements free movement of people in the Caribbean. That is one of the purpose of the single market, where we move freely. I went to Trinidad once. The most I ever spent in Trinidad is not even a week. I go to Trinidad for either 3 to 4 days, the most. Sometimes I go to Trinidad just for 2 days. I never spent 2 weeks, 3 weeks in Trinidad yet. And when I go to Trinidad, they see my Jamaican passport and they want to keep me in immigration and ask me a lot of questions. Ooh, I don't want to run off in Trinidad. I'm not interested in going to Trinidad to live. But that is one of the problems. If we are part of a single market, why is it that we still have, and we saying that we're supposed to have free movement in the Caribbean? Why is it that we still have problems? Shanique Mary left Jamaica, went to Barbados. She had issues there. She sued them because they violated her rights as a CARICOM national. She sued them, she get money. So we have issues when it comes to free movement. And then also the free movement is so elitist, because if you are a university graduate, if you do visual and performing arts, if you do sports, if you're a media personnel, you can move around the Caribbean and live in countries freely as possible. But if you're a domestic worker or you're a vendor, or you plant your goods and you want to go to Barbados to sell, like the Lucians who have their little farms in St. Lucia, Vincentians have the farm, and they take the boat and they go to Barbados and they want to sell the things there. They have problems. They don't recognize the small man, very elitist. Another thing that was proposed was the Assembly of Caribbean Community Parliamentarians, where we're supposed to have a common parliament as the Caribbean. We are yet to get there. And another one, I believe, is the passport. I think we have the passport. And then another one, in 2005, we established the Caribbean Court of Justice in its original jurisdiction. So most countries are part of the CCJ, where CCJ deals with issues concerning trade, but as a final court to replace the Privy Council, Jamaica, the government in Jamaica, the JLP, is so against the CCJ. The opposition in Trinidad is against the CCJ, that is Kamala Party. The opposition in St. Vincent is against the CCJ. So people is against, in every single Caribbean country, with the exception of Barbados and Guyana and Belize and Dominica. These countries are part of CCJ in two jurisdictions, as a final court and as a trade court. but other countries still don't want to be part of CCJ. The Prime Minister said from 2016 in Jamaica that he will give Jamaicans the right to decide through a referendum. 2016, I will reach 2021, still nothing, all about bag of chat, nothing else. And then we have problems at UWI between Islands, Campus, Caville versus Mona, Mona versus St. Augustine. St. Augustine gets open campus. CXC problems. People feel that because CXC in Barbados, Barbadian control it, some other countries, and then I've heard a lot of negative about CXC in Jamaica. I'm not going to say CXC is perfect, but CXC is one of the best functional corporation in the Caribbean, and it has worked. No other region in the world has a single examining body. Not North America, not Africa, not Central America, not Europe, not Asia. We in the Caribbean have shown the world that we can have a single examining body, study the very same syllabus. So while negative for CXC, although people want CXC to water down, CXC has already watered down over the years. But CXC is one of the best functional integration movement in the world. Same thing with UWI, the University of the West Indies. Several different countries come together. 17 countries own the University of the West Indies. And also, ladies, I just want to let you know that UWI does not belong to Jamaica. 17 countries own UWI. Caribbean countries own UWI. Mona is not a Jamaican campus. It is located in Jamaica. Caville is not for Barbados. It is located in Barbados. St. Augustine is not for Trinidad. It is located in Trinidad. UWI is for the Caribbean people. It is owned by the region. So when you go to UWI, or I know when I was in Caville, sometimes they ask why you didn't go to Mona. If I want to choose another campus to go to, I'm free to go to another campus, because UWI belongs to all of us. It is our campus. It is our university. Another area that is very good for us is Carifta. We have done so well at Carifta, especially Carifta Games, where every April or during the Easter period, all our different countries compete together. Very, very good. All right, next. What are the factors that are deterring or hindering regional integration? One of the major problems with integration is that because of geography, we're isolated by the waters. And that is a serious problem. The next one is that we don't have a common modular strategy for development. So instead of having a Jamaica development plan or a Barbados or Trinidad or Grenada development plan, we need a Caribbean development plan. How we're going to develop the Caribbean? So we don't have that. And then another problem is that each country is at different stages of growth and development. So some countries are more developed than others. And then one of the biggest issues that is causing problem in the Caribbean is, note this word, insularity. We are very insular people. Very, very insular. We feel that our food is better than the others. We feel that our country is better than the others. Very, very insular. And if you go to all the different Caribbean countries, you're going to see the very same thing. And another problem that is deterring integration is a common currency. We need one Caribbean currency. And we really don't have diversification when it comes to goods. Benefits of integration: if we increase integration in the Caribbean, this could reduce unemployment and underemployment, because if there's no job in Jamaica, in certain area can go to other Caribbean countries to fill that jobs. Same thing with other Caribbean countries coming here. We can better respond to globalization and trade liberalization. We can improve the quality of life in the Caribbean. We can lobby together on the international stage. We have a larger market. So instead of you as a small man in St. Elizabeth have your banana selling or your melon, you have a larger market. You don't have to sell your melon to just Jamaica. You can send melon to Barbados, sell melon to Guyana, sell melon to Trinidad, sell melon to all over the different places. And so there are benefits when it comes to integration. All right, ladies, I hope that I have covered enough. You have done the presentation. I will send the PowerPoint to you and you work on it. So tomorrow, no class. Wednesday, no class. We meet again on Thursday when we are going to look at, what is the name again? Intellectual tradition. Any question, any comments?
No, sir.
No, sir.
All right, we meet again on Thursday. So I will send the work for you in the WhatsApp group for Tuesday and Wednesday.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.